What's up guys, it's Roger and welcome back to the channel. And today we have the very first weekend of Trials of Osiris in Season of the Deep. Kind of different this time because there's no power grind, so we're going straight into Trials on week 1. The dungeon also released today, so whatever you're doing this weekend, hopefully you are having a fun time. I know I was not. But hey, Endless Veil is this weekend, which is a pretty darn good map, and it is actually the machine gun is the adept, so not the best thing to grind for. Most people don't really care about that, but there are some decent rolls on it. Now, today we're going to be using our Arc Hunter. Now this did get buffed in one big way. So our Gathering Storm here is a super that has been very lackluster ever since its release, right? It's a shutdown super that could not shut down. So what was the point of it? Well, basically you would throw it at Guardians that were not in their super, try to chain some lightning and maybe get some multi-kills. Like, you could do that and it was fine. The thing is, the reticle on this thing does not actually line up to where it actually throws, so you couldn't shut down other supers as well, so this just didn't really have a place in the meta, but now they actually buffed it to where it can shut down bubbles and wells of radiance. And of course, you gotta remember, Trials of Osiris just changed game modes. Now it's going to be Dominion this season. Dominion is basically just capture point trials, so there's gonna be a capture point every single weekend. So, shutdown supers like this are going to be top tier this season, because you're going to want something that can combat those bubbles and wells as easy as possible, and this really fits the bill. Now, I only got one all day to be honest with you guys, and that's because this weekend's actually going pretty quickly. Most people are getting games done before supers, even bubbles and wells, are even coming into play, so you're probably not going to need to focus on supers much this weekend, but be aware, get used to your Arc Hunter, and I suggest try this build out because it's actually pretty darn fun. Now, since we're talking about the build, let's go ahead and just start breaking it down. We're already on our Arc 3.0 here, so I guess we can just start here. Of course, I'm going to be on the Gambler's Dodge because we do have a Lethal Current right here. Now, Lethal Current procs once you do your dodge, you're going to get a extra bit of lunge range, and then your enemy is going to blow up with some arc damage. After you hit them, they also do get jolted. Now, this is going to proc off your dodge like we said. So with Gambler's Dodge here, when we dodge near an enemy, it completely recharges our melee ability, which is our combination blow. We kill somebody with our combination blow. After, we kill him, with the Lethal Current here, combination blow, Lethal Current, great combo right here. That's going to give us a bunch of health back, and it's also going to give us a bunch of class ability energy back. In fact, it's going to fully recharge our class ability energy. So our dodge and our melee loop back into each other to keep feeding each other energy. Very good stuff. I am using Blink. You can use jumps, of course, if you want, but I'm a Blink Hunter, so you can use that if you want to be more like Papa Rotter. Now over here, we're going to be using Arc Bolt Grenades, and you'll see very soon exactly why we're doing that. Here I do have Flow State, so when we defeat somebody that's jolted, we do get Amplified. Amplified, of course, is very good, and it actually ties into our build very well with one of the guns we're going to be using today, and I'm excited to show that off to you guys. Now for our fragments here, I have Spark of Haste. This says you have greatly increased resilience, recovery, and mobility while sprinting. This is a plus 30 boost to all 3 of those stats when you are sprinting for a few seconds. Very good to have on your Hunter. Now we have Spark of Shock right here, which says your Arc Grenades jolt targets. You do lose 10 discipline for that, so if that's not something that your build can handle, then don't run this, but it's a very good aspect. It's just one more way that you can get jolt on your targets, and then you can take them out, and with your Flow State, you'll be amplified. Now after that, we have Spark of Ion, so again, this works with our jolted from our Lethal Current or from our nades, so we take them out there, and we can make an Ionic Trace to help get us our abilities back even faster. I do have Spark of Volts here just to give me 10 recovery because my armor is not the best, and I really would like that. We can talk about our stats really quickly. I have very low mobility here. It is actually at 50 since I have a lightweight frame weapon right here, and then it's going to go to 60, 70, and actually 80 overall once I'm sprinting for a few seconds with my Spark of Haste. So I do have 80 mobility overall. I don't focus too much on mobility. I'm coming from a Warlock main mentality. I like to focus mostly on my recuff. People are really stuck in this thing in their head that they have to have 100 mobile on your hunters. You really don't, guys. There's so many ways in a hunter's kit and so many exotics that can help you get your dodge back extremely easy that you do not need a high mobility stat. But I'll say this right now. Don't leave me any freaking commentary like, no, you need 100 mobile, bro. You have to have it. I don't give a shit. Don't get your testes in a little twitching knot. I do not care. I'm going to run what I want to run for my mobile, and if you do want to run something higher, that is completely fine, but don't waste my time complaining about it. Now, we said earlier that we're going to have an exotic that works with our Arc Bolt Grenades, and that's actually going to be right down here with our Lucky Raspberry. Now, this has Probability Matrix. It says it increases the chaining capabilities of Arc Bolt Grenades, and it has a chance to recharge it each time it deals damage. A full chain always recharges. So this is how Lucky Raspberry works. When you have Lucky Raspberry on, your Arc Bolt Grenade can chain up to 4 times. If it chains all 4 times, it's going to instantly give you your nade back. This is where it gets a little more complicated, but it's still pretty simple. Every time your Arc Bolt Grenade does damage, it's going to have a 25% chance to refill. So on the first tick, it's going to have a 25% chance that it'll refill your nade completely. Once it chains twice, it's going up to a 50% chance to actually refill your grenade. 3 chains is going to be a 75% chance, and that's why a full chain always recharges, because once it gets to a full 4 chains of damage, it's going to be a 100% chance to refill your nade. So that's how it works. Pretty simple stuff, and a lot of times you can even just keep throwing nades and getting 1 or 2 chains, and you'll get your nade right back. Now you can check out the mods here if you'd like to. We have a bunch of arc targeting and kinetic stuff. We have a kinetic dexterity here to get our shotgun out faster. We have 3 ways to make orbs of power. That's going to be firepower, heavy-handed, and Reaper mods. So if we use our dodge and get a kill, if we get a kill with our empowered melee, or if we get a kill with our nade, then we do spawn an orb of power. If we pick up those orbs of power, what do we get? Well, we have 3 mods down here to work with those: Innervation, Orbs of Restoration, and Absolution. You can go ahead and pause if you'd like to read any of these, but essentially all of them will just give you ability energy back when you do pick up an Orb of Power. Last but not least, we do have the Bomber mods down here. I have 2 of these on, and essentially what these are going to do is every time you dodge, you get around 20% of your grenade energy back, which obviously a lot of this build is focused on nades, so we want that. Now for our primary weapon, we are actually going to be using the Centrifuge Auto Rifle. This is a brand new exotic auto rifle that was just added to the game with Season of the Deep. It's on the Season Pass, and this thing is quite nice. I didn't know how well it was going to be in PvP. I don't have the Catalyst finish yet because it takes a little while to do, but this thing actually slaps cheeks, guys, I'm telling you. Now if you can get a kill on somebody, when this thing has its full passive up, they will actually be instantly killed from basically an arc explosion, and you get amplified instantly. So that's pretty nice. Keep that in mind. I had that happen a few times today, and I was like, oh wow, I'm just instantly amplified. So that's very nice. Basically, when you sprint, slide, or fire this weapon, it's going to charge up the little bar on this thing. Once it's fully charged, you can kill somebody, and they're going to explode into a blinding explosion, and that can do damage to nearby enemies and blind them. Over here, we have regenerative motion. That says sprinting gradually reloads this weapon, so you don't really have to reload it that often. You can just sprint, and it'll reload itself. It's a very nice thing, to be honest. And what I was trying to say earlier is this works really well with Amplified, actually. So you can just be Amplified, and you're running and sliding super quickly with this thing out, and it's just charging the bar all the time. You always want to be moving because you always want your Amplified to stay procced. So these 2 work very well together. This gun can straight up make you Amplified, and then once you are Amplified, it feeds into this gun even better. So they're a great team. We are using the Reese Walker shotgun right here. Like I said earlier, this is a lightweight frame, so when we have this out in our hands, it gives us plus 20 to our mobility and a 6.25% sprint speed bonus. Pretty good. This thing has 95 range because I have firmly planted and iron reach. I love this roll. It's absolutely shamax booty cheeks. I know some of you like to see the drip sometimes, and I think I'm looking pretty dripped up, so here's that. If you would like to break that down for yourself, go ahead and pause. You can take a look at that. Now you're going to see here, I actually did get a flawless day. I have this new emblem on the top of our screen right here. It's pretty nice. Tell me what you guys think about the new emblem and all the new shaders. I think they have new ghost shells and sparrows and ships. They look pretty cool in my opinion, but I haven't unlocked any for myself, so I'll give more opinions when I actually have those unlocked. But all that being said, I think we're ready to get in this gameplay. Hopefully you guys do enjoy it. I'd very much appreciate if you left me a like or subscribe at any point to show me that you are enjoying, and especially to show the YouTube algorithm that you are enjoying. If you want to support me even farther and become a puffer person or a low puff, which is my channel membership, go ahead and click the join button below this video and you can get all the perk details on that. But all that being said, I think we're ready to get in this gameplay, so why don't we go ahead and blink on into it. Now coming in here, we have my very first round of the day with this build, and honestly, it's a build that I started to like quite a bit. This is part of my usual strategy, right? You blink down mid, you throw the nade in, and then you start taking shots to combine with your nade to try to get a very quick pick, just like this. Now you can see here, I actually did not have the full bar charged. Make sure you're watching the left side of the screen. You'll see that bar charges up as we sprint around, as we slide, as we shoot our enemies. Any of those things is going to actually keep that bar charged up so we can get the actual explosion on our enemies when we get the final hits with this auto rifle. Now, in terms of exotics, I like this thing quite a bit, honestly. I like auto rifles, and I always want them to be better in PvP. The biggest reason why they haven't been able to be good in PvP for quite a while is because SMGs are so overtuned. You can see right there, I actually blinded that guy that was sliding away and hit him for 77 damage. So pretty good damage this thing does with the blinding explosion. Now, as I was saying before though, things like the Immortal and Teraba and even like the Rapacious Appetite that have just come out are really making it to where auto rifles don't have a range to play in, because aggressive frame target lock SMGs have so much range on them that almost any other auto rifle can't really fight them. And once you get into the SMG range, you're just toasted. So when we're in that kind of a meta, it really sucks for auto rifles because a lot of them can be very fun and interesting, but you just can't use them. Fun little melee whip right there. I had to show that to you guys. Thanks, Bungie. And it's been kind of frustrating, but when they give us an exotic option like this, it makes it a little easier to actually use auto rifles in a competitive setting because it has some extra bits to it, right? When it's an actual exotic, it has enough oomph to it to where it can kind of compete with those legendary SMGs. Now, if you're in the optimal range of an immortal, especially like a target lock immortal, you're going to get your cheek holes cooked. Unless you have really good aim, you know. This thing, I don't think it's supplying that much flinch, but it does a little bit. You can see right here, I think I actually have some woven mail because my teammate was hitting me with the brand new trace rifle from the dungeon, which is pretty funny to me. I was like, bro, you got to stop shooting this freaking booger laser at me, but hey, I appreciate it. Going balls to the wall on these guys, flying in with these shotgun. And that's part of that thing that I was doing a lot with this build. It's just, you use your dodge, you grab the lethal current, and then you fly in with your shotgun, and you just go crazy with it, right? You can see here, you can do this at the beginning. You throw that in, you take someone out after they're jolted, now we are amplified, and we can keep going on the next people. That's my basic, gameplay loop for this weekend, and I like it quite a bit. I'll make sure I point out to you when Lucky Raspberry actually procs, because it does in many of these clips, so I'll make sure when I do see that happening that I do say it for you guys. But, I don't know, I like this weekend, because this map has good ranges where almost any kind of gun can shine in different types of gunfights, with the different ranges on this map. That's what I like to see out of a Trials map, but I don't know. The matches are going pretty quick. It being cap points, it'll have to be something to get used to. I hate that they changed to Dominion. I don't think they should have done that unless they were going to actually nerf Titans more first, because Titans are so strong on something like Dominion because they can just put down a shield, and that's stronger than any Rift or Hunter dodge that anyone else could put down, and then they can put bubbles, and then we have Well of Radiance. And they didn't try to scale Well of Radiance or Bubble in the slightest before they changed the game mode to Dominion, or change Titan Shields at all before they changed the game mode to Dominion. And it's like, why would you do that? And so now what happens most of the time is people just try to get the round over. You can see here, let's look at the flag. So when I was first blinking out of spawn, I believe it's around like 28 seconds before the flag unlocks. So before the flag is unlocked, you cannot capture. So people usually try to get the round over before the flag unlocks, because once it does, you're going to see a bunch of pussies that just want to crutch that, and it gets really annoying. Unless you actually get teammates that are just as dog spit stupid. That's my boy right here. Had to show you this clip. Had to show you the end of this round, because I do good, right? I take out 2 guys. I'm like, okay, that should always be enough. Me taking out 2 guys by myself should always be enough to get a round win. No. These guys thought they were back in preschool, started playing fucking leapfrog with each other, bouncing around like they got frog legs. Don't really know what's going on there. He's dodging, he's throwing icicles around like the Titanic's about to crash into them. This dude's just running in circles. My teammate could have rezzed me at one point, but for some reason he fucking Michael Jackson moonwalked out of there. I was like, brother, where are you going? And then finally he dies. And I'm like, what? Me and the other teammate were just like talking in chat like, this guy is completely oblivious. It's an actual bot. It was blowing our minds. But that's Destiny 2, baby. Now, I do want to talk about one thing, which is the fact that I usually like to run around with my lightweight frame weapons out, because they do give you the mobility and the sprint speed bonuses. So they're nice to run around with, right? That's the point of a lightweight frame weapon. You run around the map with them. The thing is, when you're using Centrifuge, you don't do that as much, because if you don't have it out in your hands, the Centrifuge, then it's not building up its passive, so you kind of have to have it out. And that's one place that this exotic lacks that I really would have liked to see. I would have loved to seen them make this auto rifle have a lightweight frame movement bonus. I think that would have been the cherry on top of this exotic. Could you imagine if this exotic had a 6.25% sprint speed bonus like every other lightweight frame weapon does? And you don't need to try to copy some lightweight frame damage archetypes. All I want to see is the movement speed bonus. Think of Rose, for instance. They brought Rose back, and they made it a 140 in terms of its impact damage and its range, and its rate of fire. But it actually kept its lightweight frame in terms of its extra movement speed that it gives you. That's what I would have wanted to see out of this auto rifle. Oh, also, if you guys look back at that clip and you look in the top right of my screen, there was like this big blue bright line. Is anybody else seen that in their Trials matches this weekend? Because I kept seeing it pop up in matches, and I don't know what it is. You'll see it a few times if you look in the sky of my clips here. Not in this one, but you'll see it. I'll try to point it out if I see it again. It's just the weirdest thing. I don't know what the little line is, but it's like this glowing line, as if somebody's trying to fucking abduct Mickey Moo and Minnie Moo. My cat. Those are my cows, of course. They live in the backyard of the pasture. But why is someone trying to abduct them? I don't get it. But that's where I'm living at in this matchmaking right now. I don't know what that glitch is, but hey, if there wasn't a new glitch, then it wouldn't really be Destiny 2 now, would it? Overall, I'm interested to see how this season really shakes out. You can see we blow that guy up with the full overcharge capacitor there. Very nice stuff. I try to go back in to see if I can secure that res a little more. Fly on this guy. I had to show you I completely mapped that guy with a second shot there, and it still doesn't kill because that's just how much range is missing on lightweight frame shotguns. Fun. Thanks, Bungie. Remember, that's a 95 range shotgun, by the way, with iron reach and firmly planted. Yeah. But you can see there, we throw in a very nice nade. Does a lot of damage. We are amplified now. I blink and absolutely map this guy, put him in the dirt. Teammate takes out the last one. We love little rounds like that where teammates are actually helping out. It's always appreciated when your teammates actually help you out. But yeah, a lot of the times they start these rounds. What I started doing, you can see here, I got to lane in Temple here. By the time I got inside of Temple, my overcharged capacitor, so the passive on the centrifuge auto rifle, was fully charged. So when you run to lane, most of the time if you're running to the side lanes, by the time you get to the side lanes and actually get ready to shoot your enemy, you're going to have the full charge on that passive for the auto rifle. So keep that in mind. It's not too hard to stack it up. And even if you don't yet, if it's very close to being completely stacked, what you can do is just start shooting the enemies, and as they take damage, you'll fully fill up the passive bar. Watch the left side of the screen right now. Look how much charge I just got from railing that guy. Railing that guy. Anyways, I shot that guy a lot. He died. We did good. Good stuff there. Had a glitch in the Matrix, I think. Anyways, flying into Temple here. This is probably my least favorite flag, just because it can get really goofy in here, and this is where the Immortals can be the worst, because you can't really do much about running away from them. You kind of just have to face them down. But that was pretty good right there. You know, I take out the first guy. I was shooting the second guy a lot. My teammate was able to take him out when he ran away, and I flicked up beautifully to that last guy and was able to smack him pretty damn good. And you can see right there, look, I have a full nade back because of my lucky raspberry. Also, 2 guys got hit by that nade, and I mean, the jolt is what killed that guy. Look in the bottom left. Look at this flick. Look at this flick. Ooh! I watched that back in slow motion, right? Because I was like, how much did I map that guy? Here's what happened. He started going to suspend me like a fucking scarecrow in this goddamn farm fields with his suspension dodge, you know, on the Strain Hunter. And I just flicked up and mapped him, baby. It was beautiful. I was like a little cartographer with how hard I was mapping right there. Now you can see here, full overcharge capacitor. I want to take some shots at that if I can, but then I see, ooh, I just got a nade kill. So now I'm sliding in. I'm looking to take some shots. And you can see there, actually, when I started shooting that guy with my overcharge capacitor, obviously we take him out with a shotgun, but when I started shooting him with my auto rifle there, my passive did start going down for a second. But right when I started shooting him, it flew right back up. I do want to mention that too. If you stand still for like, I think it's probably like 2.5 or 3 seconds. It's not long in the slightest. And you don't do damage or slide or sprint, your passive falls off really quickly with this. Oh, there's the big blue line in the top left of the screen there. If you rewind, you can watch that again. Your passive falls off really quick, so keep that in mind. It's really annoying. I don't know what the catalyst does, to be fair. I'm pretty dang close to getting it done. And I'm excited to get it done and see how much it helps the gun. Because if it gives it longer time before like the passive meter runs out, that would be the perfect catalyst in my opinion. So I'll probably make an updated video with this gun once I get the catalyst. So stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed if you want to see that. And if you did enjoy the video, obviously here is me in the lighthouse getting my loot if you want to check out what loot that I did get. And if you want to leave me a like or subscribe, I'd very much appreciate that, guys. I've had a blast making trials videos. These are my favorite videos of the weekend to make because I can just kind of rattle off my thoughts to you guys in a long format here while showing you my best plays of the weekend. If you want to see my Warlock build that I made, then go ahead. I will have that linked on the end screen, and you can go ahead and watch that. That one is a slapper video, if I can say so myself. I think you very much enjoy it. And if you want to see other Endless Fail Hunter builds that I have, then go ahead and check those out because they are on my channel. All that being said, that is it for me today. So as always, have a great day, Guardians.